You don't need to worry when you're 7-inch soft. It takes 2 hands to milk this bull.
Now when you first come into the game of Domination, this is the sort of screen that you're going to be presented with. On the right here with the actual players that are already in game or waiting to join the game. This is the map and the mode it's playing in, which is Domination. Now these listed below are the different roles, and obviously you can pick one that's empty. There are various different roles such as machine gunner, sniper, squad leader, and each one has a different role in the actual battlefield once you get in there. For example, the first artillery, he can actually call in airstrikes whereas the other team members can't. The machine gunner, for example, can build a machine gun nest, and so on and so on. So each character or role has their own specific use within the battlefield. Once you click accept or connect, you'll then receive this mission file. This is basically sending the information to your computer or your game, so you know where the state of play is and what's happening actually on the server. There's currently 17 of 17 players in the game. So here we are, we're in. This is Domination. This is our British Forces soldier. Very nice. So this is going to be the area that you actually spawn in at the beginning, and the first thing we need to do is check our loadout. And to do that we come to this box here, this ammo box, we use the mouse wheel and we select gear. Now from this menu there'll be all the weapons you can imagine are going to be in here, and depending on the mod there may be more, there may be less. For this mode all these are available. If you are a saw gunner and you picked it, you are expected to, and you will have increased accuracy if you actually pick the automatic weapons. Now the game uses a realistic mode of the more you carry, the slower you will run. You won't be able to run as far, and if you keep on running you will actually become breathless, and you can even pass out at some point. This will also affect your aim as well if you're running for a long way. So obviously I can carry a small launcher at the back, and obviously don't forget to bring the actual ammo, but as you can see that reduced the actual amount of magazines of ammo that I can carry. So it's a trade-off between, do you want to just be a full-on automatic rifleman, or do you also want the ability to be able to take out vehicles and tanks as well? So there are lots of items in here, and a description will be in the bottom, or if not you can always go on the Google and have a quick look, as a lot of the items are not completely self-explanatory. I've also got a rangefinder which I can bring in for the artillery at the top right, and I have night vision which is a little useless. It's always handy to bring a satchel charge and some smoke as well. Okay, so now we've got our loadout, we're going to press M to bring the map up. And this is just a zoom in of where you actually spawn in. So you can see we're actually spawning at the airbase, the airfield, which is quite big, and this is where you'll find helicopters, Apaches, the mobile HQs, which we'll get into in a minute. But this gives you an idea of where you will spawn if you come back to the base or you die. So we're going to go up to tasks up here, and we're going to double click the first one because this is the current objective. That will zoom us out and show, so you can see it's quite a long way away, and that will zoom in. And to give ourselves a waypoint we're going to click set as current. Let's get rid of this. Oh, let's just zoom in a little bit. So this is the area that we will now be fighting in. One of the first objectives is we have to destroy the radio tower, and this can only be done with a satchel charge, so that's what I was saying. Even if you want to be a suppressive saw gunner, it's always handy if some of your team goes down that you can actually do the objective. We also need to capture these little top hats here. There's 4 on this map. They're basically like flags in Battlefield 3. We need to capture those, raise the English flag, and then we've captured those points. So there's 3 things to do to clear out this area. So how do we actually get to this battle, because it's miles away? Well, we could get a friend to fly us by helicopter. We could drive there, which may take you 10 minutes. Or there's a mobile headquarters here, which is the vehicle we spoke of earlier that needs to be driven here or dropped off by helicopter. And that needs to be deployed. And once that's deployed, we can then select it from the main base and actually transport ourselves directly there. So let's do that now, and I'll show you how we can do that. We also have the option of parachuting in, and we'll show you that in a second. So here we go, we're going to zoom into the map now. We can come up here, just zoom out a little bit. So this is the, where are we? Come on Andy, wake up. I just had it, haven't I? Yeah, this is the area we're going to fight in. As you can see, there's a mobile headquarters here. which is 2. So we select 2 and then we click transport, and that will bring us straight up to the fighting, probably about half a mile away from the actual fighting, and you can hear the fighting in the background. That's actually been deployed. It's got the nets up, which is an option you do on the back. If you ever run out of ammo, this is a good place to come if somebody has loaded it with an ammo box. Now this game has friendly fire on, and this is one of the first things you should do when you're actually in the game. Is we're going to bring up the status menu with the spacebar, and we're going to go to show status. And in here we're going to go to the settings tab. Now this is where you can change the view distance, graphic settings like maximum grass, we'll get that whacked up. And this is the markers that you want on. You want with names on both. So now when you're in game, even at a distance, your players' team's names will be highlighted. This really does save a lot of blue on blue firing, shall we say. A lot of team kill this happens, and also if somebody's a long way away and you need to type to somebody or you want to speak to them on the headset, you can see they're on the other side of the mountain. I will actually show you, possibly in this video, another video, how to join up in a squad, but that may be for another time, as we're getting into a lot of different keys here. Quick tip: always reload your launcher before you go into battle, because there are times when you need to bring it out quite quickly, and then obviously you have to wait for the reload animation. So let's just head our way down to the battle. This battle may be over now. It's been going on for a while, and we've just jumped in halfway through. It's really quite immersive. Nice looking graphics. I've not got everything on high here, and to knock it back for fraps, it does kill it a little bit. Looks like we've got a friendly, is that an Apache? I can't quite see from here. I'll look in a minute. Looks like he's staying above. He looks like he's either covering other players who are on the ground. As you can see by me running there, my aiming is a little bit all over the place. Which is again what I was saying, if you fully sprint with lots of kit on, you will struggle. Looks like he's being shot at. He's firing down at somebody, so let's just move up a little bit. I know we always talk about how good the audio is in Battlefield 3, and it is brilliant. But there are certain times in this game when it just sounds absolutely fantastic. It's got a completely different feel to Battlefield 3, whereas Battlefield 3, even though some of the maps are big, they're nothing compared to this game. And if you can get in a team with a decent headset, it completely transforms the game. So let's bring in our artillery and see what we can bring up here. So I'm going to look down there. Apparently the artillery is not available because the actual roles at the beginning, because there are 4 different squads, each one of those team leaders can actually bring in the artillery. So there is a cooling down point for the different strikes, and there are 5 different air strikes as well, which is quite interesting. So we're just running up a little bit. Obviously we can change our view from third person to first person at any point we want, and we can hold down the or the Alt key. I'm editing this on a video, on a Mac should I say, so you can actually look around while you're running, which is a nice touch. So let's just have a look at the area we're in. So as you can see now with the options that we've put on, we can now see the players that are actually in this area. Makes everything a lot easier. So as they're probably just mopping up the last few bits and the radio tower's destroyed, let's run over here. So I press shift and right click there, and to my left now it will put a different marker. As you can see, it's 190 odd meters away. So let's just run up here and we can have a look at one of the capture points. It's just a simple basic fortification really. Obviously it's got the Jamraki flag on it, so we need to capture. No, that's a friendly vehicle, so that's okay. We just need to run up here and capture it. You may actually see in the background there, there's it's one of the heavy lift helicopters. I can't remember the name of it. It's actually towing the Mobile Headquarters number 2, because you can have 2 vehicles. Obviously if one gets destroyed you're only left with one, so it tends to be that certain players will pick them up and take them over to the next objective, and they specialise as pilots, because on this particular game mode, as I am first artillery, it's not actually possible for me to get into a helicopter because I'm not actually qualified as a pilot. So it really does make you want to play each individual role the best you can. They also have their own uniforms and their own set of weapons as well. So this is how you capture it. You literally just stand there with your teammates. This server at the minute is, I think this is on easy mode. Doesn't seem to be, God bless you ma'am, doesn't seem to be actually many AI around. If it's on veteran, it's a completely different game. A couple of shots will put you down. That's when you really do need to stick together to help each other, you know, as medics and things like that. Now I know this hasn't been the most action-packed of videos that I've put out, but it really was just to give you a little flavour of what actually to do, because as I'm a fairly new player, I wouldn't say I was an Arma expert. Obviously there are a lot of players who have just got into the zombie mode, the DayZ. A lot of them haven't even done any of the tutorials, and I think there are about 20 or 30 different tutorials in the game. A lot of people are coming in and just not having a clue on what's going on, running around and just not understanding any of it whatsoever. Obviously there are different versions of Domination. This one we start off on the carrier, different islands. It really is quite an open, wide game mode really, but what we'll say is it really is a different game. As we've said before, when you with your teammates or your friends and you get TeamSpeak, it completely changes the video, and as you'll see in my next video, when I actually got to play with 3 para, and they play a different game mode again called patrolling, which we shall be showing you in the next video. But let's just have a see. I've never been on this level before. Let's just have a little sneaky look outside on this one. So as you can see, there are different islands or maps, however you want to interpret that. This one's obviously I'm playing as a Wookiee sniper. There's obviously some noob helicopter pilot here, flies into the power lines, blows himself up and kills me. Brilliant, noob-tastic. Tastic indeed, but luckily for me I was only injured and not absolutely killed, and this para here is actually going to recover me, give me some healing and get me back in the game. You can actually survive for so long before you bleed out. They can carry you and drag you, as you may have seen in my other videos. You can then actually get back in the game and carry on playing, and certain levels you actually get bonuses as well for healing your teammates. It's quite nice to get in the forests once you've been in the dusty desert for so long. But anyway, let's just wrap this video up, as I think it's going on for quite long now, and I think you've got most of the information out. So all you need to remember is that when you're playing the Domination mode, try and stick with your team. You know how to get your weapons, you know how to deploy. You can also come in by parachute. Each area you must destroy the radio tower with a satchel charge. I forgot to say you can also do this with artillery, but just make sure your teammates are nowhere near. You have to capture the points and destroy all the enemy that are in the actual area. It's been quite a long video, but thanks for watching anyway. I've been Para, Yorkshire Gamer. Hope you enjoy the video. The next video will actually be a little bit more interesting. It'll actually be a full-on co-op mode with 8 or 9 of us doing an actual mission of patrolling in Iraq Desert, I think it is. That video will be coming soon. Thanks for watching. TTFN.
Fucking twat.